Hey Game Advisor, you want to play some D&D? I got my chips and my wizard staff. Just grab some friends and let's play.
Man, you know I wish we could do that right now. There's just everybody's in quarantine and we're not supposed to be hanging out. Like I don't want to get sick. I'm so worried about it.
Bro, I'm talking about Baldur's Gate 3. It's basically just D&D in video game format, man. It's awesome.
Hey guys, as you might have guessed, we're going to be playing Baldur's Gate 3 today. It's a game that's kind of based around Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm super excited to get to talk about it and show you our personal review and take on the game.
So the first question that we're always going to address in these videos is what stage of development is the game in and how much does it cost? And for this example, in Baldur's Gate 3, it is in early access right now and it costs $60. It is only going to be on PC from what we know, and it just doesn't seem possible on consoles right now.
So in Baldur's Gate 3, they really want to stress that D&D aspect of customization, and you get to do all sorts of different things with this, like you get to customize your origin or your race, your appearance. You can even go into your class and then do your subclass or subrace. And it's almost exactly like you would make a D&D character. It's really, really satisfying. Now there is some pre-made characters that you're able to play, but in the current early access version, they have not made those playable yet, although you can interact with those characters when you are playing the game. Currently, there are two methods of gameplay in Baldur's Gate. We have the single player mode, which seems pretty solid and well put together, although there are an occasional crash or two. And then the multiplayer aspect, which is really where we played the most, and there were a lot more crashes than the single player, as well as a lot of desync problems. But the developers have said multiple times they are working on this and trying to get it fixed as fast as they can. They've already put out a patch to solve some of the crashing issues, which gives me a lot of hope for this game. So if you're watching this video a couple weeks from now, I wouldn't worry too much about those issues, as this dev team has hopefully solved them by then.
So now we're going to dive into the story of the game, and first of all, I will say that I will not spoil anything for you, but I'll also say that the story is the main draw for the game. I mean, every conversation adds so much substance to the gameplay. For example, you can be the hero or the villain, or you could just chill with your party members and have some groovy time on the side. Sadly, the groovy time is still under construction for this game, so we're all gonna have to wait until it comes out in full release to enjoy that. But there are still a bunch of things that make this storyline awesome, such as there being several different ways to solve the same problem, and I feel like other RPGs don't really do this. They just take a very linear approach, and I felt that's really what made Baldur's Gate so exciting for me. Another thing is that there are plenty of side missions in this game that actually feel rewarding. They don't seem like they're just extra content that the developers threw in there. It actually gives you a reason to do them, such as getting more information on your character or getting a new item that was way more powerful than the thing that you previously had.
So let's talk about the combat. The combat in Baldur's Gate 3 is a turn-based style combat. It plays very similar to D&D 5e as it would on pen and paper, just they've now put it in a video game format. It does all the number calculations for you and all the rolls in the background, which is really, really satisfying because for most people, that is one of the worst parts about D&D, at least in my experience. Now, I will say though that I would recommend, if you've never played D&D ever before in your life and you've never played Divinity Original Sin 2, one of this company's older titles, that you should go and look up a combat tutorial so you have a better understanding as to what exactly is really happening in the game.
As we mentioned before, the game is in early access, and because of this, the content that it offers is a bit limited. By this, I mean that if you were to power through the campaign and do all the main quests and skip everything on the side, it would probably take you between 12 and maybe 15 hours to complete. But the beauty of this game is that the replayability that it offers is seemingly endless. Any character that you start up a new game with, aside from the main canon, will have a completely different experience than any other character that you played before. And as the developers continue to add playable content to the game, we are expecting upwards of 30 to even 40 hours of additional campaign, not to even mention the side quests and other misadventures the game will be offering.
Now, we do understand that Baldur's Gate 3 is an early access game, and with that comes some bugs and some other issues usually, But Baldur's Gate 3 did have a few really annoying ones in where the game would crash, or we would desync when we were playing in multiplayer, and it would send us back further than we were really hoping for. At one point, it even sent us back like 2 hours because we had just forgotten to save. So I will say, if you do pick up this title and it is still in early access, and even if it's not, just make sure to save a lot, as much as you possibly can. I would say every 15 minutes, just save the game to be safe.
And now we're going to move into our final rating for the game in its current state. And when we rate games, we always want to aim for at least 1 hour of entertainment or enjoyability out of the game for every $1 that we spend. So for this title, Baldur's Gate 3, we would like to get 60 hours of enjoyment out of the $60 that we spent on the game. And after putting 24 played hours into this game, we give it 5 out of 10 potatoes.
Now, I'd like to clarify why we gave the game the rating that we did, and that's because Baldur's Gate 3 in its current state just doesn't really have enough content to fully justify its current price. Although this developer team is really solid and we think the game is absolutely amazing, I think that if you wait until the game fully releases, it would have a much higher rating because you would easily get that 60 hours of gameplay out of it, even if you only play through the game once. But because it doesn't have that yet, that is why we decided to give it that 5 out of 10.
Make sure you guys smash that like button, and if you want more money-saving content, subscribe to our channel where we release new videos every single week where we spend the money so you don't have to. And as always, thank you so much for watching.